Blog Talk Radio.
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Hello, my people. I know you miss me. I miss me. Do you miss me, Scott?
Oh, yeah, I miss you so much, Idolo.
Oh, that's so nice for you to say. So, we have Scott Schultz. Am I saying it right? Scott Schultz?
Yes, you are pronouncing that correctly. Thank you. Am I pronouncing Idolo correctly?
No, that's okay. No, you're actually, it's fine. But it's Italo, like Italy. Like if you're Italian, like we're gonna talk about Irishman right now. So if you're Italiano, you don't say Italy, you say Italo. Anyways, that's a little
Italo.
There you go. So Italo and Scott are gonna talk about The Irishman, because I just saw it last, I think it was a week ago.
You saw it?
Spent didn't you?
Yes, I did, at the Egyptian Theater.
Okay. I hope you did, because I'm like, we're gonna talk about The Irishman. And it would be kind of awkward if you didn't. But before I continue, I do want to warn people there will be spoilers. At least some of the spoilers. I mean, you know that Hoffa died, so that's not a spoiler. But I'm saying, like, as far as the movie's concerned, there might be some spoiler alerts that I need to disclose right now, so you don't sue me later. But Scott and I have seen it, so I saw it in Puerto Rico, of all places.
Wow.
Subtitle. I know it was weird because it was subtitled in Spanish, so I kept reading the subtitles. And I kept correcting them in my head. I'm like, that's not what he said. But you know what?
You know what's
okay.
You know what's weird about that also is, they only released that like on a couple screens in a couple big cities. So it's kind of interesting that they would release it in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Like I could see New York and Los Angeles, because you have all the film students and the critics and the experts who need to see it on the big screen, which all of you do as well while you have a chance. But I didn't know that San Juan would be on that list.
It was weird. Not only because it's not. There's a lot of things that are lost in translation, so that alone is like, well, okay. But the fact that it was a mob story set in Puerto Rico, I don't know. It's just it was so surreal, and it was so very surreal because a lot of people don't speak English, and they had to read it, and they were talking throughout the entire 3 hours and a half of the movie, saying what just happened. They don't realize what went on, and they don't realize it's a historical. Historical.
Also, if you're on vacation in Puerto Rico, why are you spending 4 hours in a movie theater?
That's my. Well.
Like, how much does it cost to fly out there, and then you're paying $15 for a ticket in 4 hours? That's half a day.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to pay. It wasn't an invitation, but I know it was a waste of my 4 hours of my life.
Well, it wasn't a waste of 4 hours.
I will say,
really? You didn't like it?
I did not.
Oh my God! I thought you loved it up until just that second. I just naturally assumed that you loved it.
Now, don't get me wrong. I did. I enjoyed the performances, especially Joe Pesci performance.
Pacino.
Now, Al Pacino, he does the same thing all the time. So for me, it was not.
He maintained that
out of the
Michigan
ordinary
accent the whole time.
Yeah. So
that's a tough accent.
Because,
I thought it was really great performance. I thought it was Oscar worthy. I
agree.
think he'll get
I
the best
agree with
supporting
you.
actor.
You who? Joe Pesci or?
No, well, I thought
Pacino.
Pesci was Oscar worthy, but I think Pacino had the more difficult role, and I thought he carried it off brilliantly. He had a lot of restraint and a lot of energy. You could see the charisma of Jimmy Hoffa, who most
That's
of us
true.
never got to see in his prime. You know, he's just a name of some guy who disappeared, 50 years ago. But, I mean, that guy was like a Cesar Chavez type figure for, middle-class white American blue-collar workers. I mean, he was the union leader for, a lot of factory type work and truckers and everything. And it's very hard to carry that off on a screen. And he was on screen for like 2 hours. I mean, and it's a supporting role. But in a 3-hour, 30-minute movie.
I was worried because by the time he appeared on the screen, he was an hour into it or something. And I'm like, when is Al Pacino going to come on? And I didn't realize it was 3 hours and a half until halfway through.
Oh,
and
you
I'm
didn't
like,
know that?
No. I was like, why am I still watching just Joe Pesci and him on a road trip?
That's
that
so
made
funny.
no sense to me. Until later
in LA, because we knew it was 3.5 hours, you have to actually mentally prepare to go in. Because
I was
like,
not
for
mentally
example,
prepared for it.
I stopped drinking coffee like 4 or 5 hours before I went in. I just stopped drinking everything. I made sure I went to the bathroom before I left for the theater and before I walked into the screening room also, because I wanted the best seat, and I knew that if 2 hours and 50 minutes in I had to go to the bathroom, I was going to be pissing off a lot of people because I take the best seat when I go to the theater.
Right. In the middle.
And that's so you got to prepare 3.5 hours and trailers.
I was not ready for that. Now, having said that, the length of the movie was my pet peeve was the length of the movie. But, I haven't seen Gone with the Wind, but having intermission would have been a lot better for me to have,
That's an interesting
prepared.
idea.
Yeah.
I think they should have done that too. That actually,
at least
that's really
warn
good.
Me, like, there's going to be an hour, 3 hours and a half. Like, people cannot sit still. I could not sit still for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, and that's just me, but a lot of people that I saw it with were in the older generation. They're like in their 60s and 70s. They could not, you know what I mean? So that would have been helpful to know.
And I think, like, being in Los Angeles or New York, you're so inside the bubble of the industry, and a Scorsese, De Niro, Pacino, Pesci film is such a high-profile event that everybody here and in New York was probably well aware it was 3.5 hours. But I could see where the other cities might just be like, oh, De Niro, he's the guy that was in The Godfather. Let's go see that.
Oh, Meet the Parents, yeah.
Meet the Parents.
What a fun character.
So what did you think of De Niro's performance?
I did not really.
He was
for the character. Well, he was basically very subdued, very subtle.
But that's what Frank Sheeran was.
Yeah, I did not know. I don't know his story, so I didn't know what to expect. And actually, I'm glad I didn't know anything going into it. And now that I know, now I want to look into it and see who these people were in real life, and whether or not. Here's a spoiler for you people that are listening, and you should have by now. You should have just stopped the podcast and go see it, right? Or wait until
Jimmy Hoffa's dead. He got murdered.
Yeah,
he was whacked.
He got killed.
We had to do it. I mean, not we. They. Whenever I watch gangster films, I always become we. like I'm sitting there in a black suit, having an espresso.
But what do you think? I mean, do you think that's how it went down? Like that's how they portray it well in the.
It seems about right. First of all, I mean, when I looked at the performances, one of the weird things, first of all, in this film is they use a lot of CGI technology to cover a lot of ground. I mean, De Niro, Pesci, and Pacino are all well into their 70s now, and they play characters in their young 40s. And so on some of them, it's less significant. Like on Pesci, he actually uses aging makeup because his character is older. But Pacino's is kind of less subtle because he has more makeup than CGI technology. But De Niro's, it was awkward. Like a few times you would see angles where he's in the background and you're like, who's that? And it's De Niro. And it's not that he's getting lost in character. He's getting lost in technology.
It's like
kind of looked like
superimposed.
He looked like Alec Baldwin's alcoholic brother, the one that always got in the tabloids. That was on the cop show, Homicide, for a couple of years. That's what he looked like with the CGI technology. And want to hear something weird about this?
Like a South Park episode.
This is a technology thing. I personally know the actress who played his first wife in the movie, and she's like maybe in her 30s, and he's like in his 70s. But because of the CGI technology, they were able to do it, and it only looked kind of weird. And because she's one of those actresses that's in the Scorsese's kind of cast of characters, and because he tends to use a lot of the same people. And but it was interesting to see her being married to De Niro.
What's her name?
Which is kind of neat.
I forget her name. What was her name?
Alexa Palladino.
Her name is Peggy. Oh no, it's not Peggy. That's the daughter.
The wife. Character? The wife. The actress.
Mary.
Mary.
Alexa Palladino.
Alexa Palladino. She was in Boardwalk Empire. That was Scorsese's talk show. I'm not talk show, TV show with Buscemi about Atlantic City. She was on the first 2 years. And she's actually a really good musician also. I mean, she's like a full-time actress and stuff, but she has a side band and stuff. She's got like a 5-octave vocal range. I mean, she's really, really good. But, you got to pick an art form, I mean,
she was born in
when Scorsese calls, you got to put the keyboard in the closet.
Getting character. But she was born in 1980, so she's what? She's like younger than me. 39. What? 39. Yeah, okay. Which is the actual age that she's representing the same age of that wife, right? Is that around the same time, I guess? Or she probably was younger? No. Hollywood always, gets older to play younger. He would have been married probably in his 20s, Oh, okay. But it's, I mean, and she might have had a little CGI done on her. I have no idea. I'm not involved in the making of the film. I'm just sitting there in the audience going, "Hey, there's Alexa." I mean, you know what it's like. You live in LA. Sometimes you see a friend on screen, and you're like, "Hey, wow, that's weird." There's Idolo. Hey, what's Idolo doing? They're having a sandwich with De Niro, Right.
But that's how it is. Sometimes you see them on a commercial for T-Mobile, and sometimes you see them holding a baby next to Robert De Niro, saying, "Hey, what are we going to do with little Mary? What are we going to do with Frank Jr.? Don't yell at me."
So speaking of the female characters, right? The female, I thought. I don't know if this is just me, right, talking about the movie, but I think the female roles were so secondary, so minimal.
They were
for instance,
unnecessary.
I'm talking about,
Yeah, I
for
know.
instance, Anna Paquin's character, which is the daughter.
Yeah.
She plays Peggy Sheeran. She had like no lines. If she had any lines, I would be surprised.
Her character was the least essential in the film. I mean,
I had no idea what she was doing.
Basically, her role was a prop, basically, with a big name actress. It was a big ticket prop to show that the gangsters have no family life, but people really don't care about Scorsese characters, having a strained relationship with their children. That's a secondary element, and it's really to show that for the end of the movie, how they live, and everyone around them is dead, and their family wants nothing to do with them, and it kind of gives that Unforgiven element, which is the film that I thought it was the most similar to, was Unforgiven.
Oh.
With the whole
Clinton
kind of
or Clint Eastwood. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Clint Eastwood film, where he kind of muddied the myth of the Western outlaw, where they have to live with these murders, and they have to live with the outcome of their violent nature. And with the Paquin character, she was basically just there to represent, your children are scared of you. But they really didn't need Anna Paquin for that. They could have got some minimum wage, not minimum wage, but minimum SAG wage, performer without a big name, and included them in that. And then it wouldn't have been as significant. I think that Anna Paquin fans were actually more upset. But the film itself, like, there is no female figure involved in the triad of, the Philadelphia mob, Frank Sheeran, the hitman, and Jimmy Hoffa. And when they tried to include it by making Jimmy Hoffa's character like all obsessed with Peggy, it was really awkward. It's like, what the hell is Jimmy Hoffa getting all pervy like on Frank Sheeran's daughter? Yeah. Ooh, there's the lovely Peggy. I'm going to slow dance with her. Ooh-ah. It's like, that's kind of creepy. It was really out of place. But first, I'm going to sit on the couch with your lovely daughter Peggy. Ooh. You're out of order. That's it. Okay. I'm going to bury you in the concrete. No, fat scowl, you're out of order.
That's a good moment right there. That would have been Set Up a Woman mashup with the Irishman moment.
And Justice for All.
Yeah.
But Pacino's easy to do.
Yeah. Actually, I like him better in Dog Day Afternoon. That was my favorite movie of the 70s.
Well, that's young Pacino. I mean,
that's when I liked him.
Yeah, that was kind of the end of First Peak.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of
win Oscar or something. Or not?
Well, he had that. Sorry. He had that run. I think Dog Day would have been the end of his First Peak, and by then he probably had 5 Academy Award nominations. And then he had that middle age run, where he started doing some of those other films where it's like, okay, now I want to play someone that's not Italian.
Yeah.
So then he's like, now I'm going to do Cuban and Puerto Rican and Jewish and this and that. He just got away from everything Italian. Then he was like, now I'm going to play losers among the mafioso. I don't want to be the Don anymore. Now I want to be like the Stooge. And he's a great actor.
He is. I mean, when he's not overdoing it, like he was in the movie, I'm like, okay, you're overdoing it right now. I think. Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I mean, he's a great actor. Obviously, not my favorite character, this one, but
Yeah.
I've seen him in better movies and better. Carlito's Way was amazing. Other stuff.
That would have been interesting to see in San Juan. Carlito's Way.
Carlito's Way.
I mean,
how
often are there Puerto Rican characters in lead roles in films? And then, of course, they hire an Italian to play them.
Yeah, just why not, right? But yeah, I mean, they love him in there. They love him in Puerto Rico. A lot of people were. There was actually a full audience there. I don't know about you, but even though I would have been like, well, if it's gonna be 3.5 hours, I'm just gonna wait for Netflix. I don't know what was that move about. Why do you do? It doesn't make sense to me. Why would you release it in the theaters and then 2 weeks later do Netflix? Like
that was strictly for film scholars and for Scorsese and mega film buffs who would want to see it on the big screen, but Netflix bought the exclusive rights, and it's to make their money on Netflix. It's to lead to subscriptions and views. And the reason that that's why they only put it in a couple cities. It was really so Academy Award consideration, stuff like that. And when I went to see it at the Egyptian, it was sold out, and it was filled with like film students, film buffs, filmmakers. I mean, there was you could hear that type of an energy in the room. And so, when a cameo would happen, like Harvey Keitel playing the mob boss, the highest level, and he only had like 3 lines in the movie. He had presence in like 2 scenes, but people would get all tittering. Like you'd just hear like, "Who's Keitel?" Like they're having a little mini orgasm or something, and or like when what's his face? Jim Norton, the comic, playing. He had like a bit part as Don Rickles, and in San Juan, people aren't going to notice the little cameos and stuff like that, but out here, they love that. They eat that stuff up, I mean that's filmmaker crack. And I was too busy translating.
I was too busy translating the subtitles, so I guess I missed that.
But 3.5 hours of reading would get really difficult.
Oh my goodness, yes. And
that's like what people would do
about,
in the 60s.
What do you mean?
Oh, they used to bring foreign films. That used to be something people would actually go to the movies and watch back in the in the 60s and 70s.
That's
like
what I was always
French
doing.
New Wave.
Oh yeah, of course, the Italian movies,
or like
French
the Ingmar Bergman films and stuff, or even Pedro Almodovar.
Oh, I love Pedro Almodovar. It's my favorite.
And you don't see that as often now, just because the screens are all filled up with superheroes. But I think it was really important to have the opportunity to see that film on the big screen, because to me that was a special event. That was the first time I've ever spent more than $10 on a movie ticket in my life, because I'm super cheap. I'll watch it on a laptop, or I'll get invited in or sneak in, or go to a matinee, or I'll buy a bootleg DVD. Because to me, $15, that's a concert ticket. And I don't think it's right to charge a blanket price for movies across the board. I think that's an antitrust violation. I refused to buy in. But for that movie, I bought in. Because it was a special event.
So you wouldn't pay the same price to see another movie like a low budget movie, for instance. Like what's the movie going on right now? Parasite. Which one? So comparing Parasite. I think it's the newest hit right now. It's like a sleeper hit. I think it's Korean or it's Asian. I don't know. If it's, anyway.
Parasite's a special case because it's a foreign produced film that entered the market. So I think that actually it's preceding hype and success in other countries, and at the film festivals gives that an added heft to it, so that it's a higher quality and a rarer commodity. But say, like Melissa McCarthy puts out.
Oh my God!
Melissa McCarthy's talented, so I don't want to say that. Say, like who's some like secondary SNL actor? Just say, any random secondary SNL actors. Like let's make a film. Yeah, that shouldn't cost $15. They should be a sliding scale.
It made you laugh.
Like Pauly Shore puts out a movie, or the current version of Pauly Shore puts out a movie, because there's a Pauly Shore for every generation. I just don't know who it is. But when that person puts out a movie, it should be like $5. Why should it be $15? They don't even make a price. It's like going to a steakhouse and they go, I would like a plain salad of just lettuce and no dressing or other fruits or vegetables on it. Sure, it's $25, and I'll have a filet mignon with a double stuffed potato and the work salad and a soup. Sure, $25.
Well, you might be, you might be in a diet that day, so you may not want to have a filet mignon. So you might be vegetarian.
And eat a little. We'll have a hot dog.
Right, plain hot dog. No dressing, nothing.
It's like when you bring kids somewhere.
Oh my God!
But that's
unless
just
you pay for.
Hey, you want to hear something interesting? At the Egyptian Theater, at the end of the show, they handed out lobby cards. Did they do that in San Juan?
Lobby cards.
Yeah, those like those cardboard pictures with images from the movie that they put in the lobbies to show the scenes.
Okay.
So I haven't even opened them yet. I have them on my lap. I have like 6 of them here. And what I can do is I can flip them real fast, and I can tell you exactly what the scenes are that they selected.
Okay.
And I see that at least one of them we already talked about.
Okay.
So these are the lobby cards. The first one is when De Niro and Pesci's character first meet. When they're fixing the car at the beginning when it broke down. So it's the shaking hands. And at the bottom half of the card is De Niro overseeing some of the meat being stolen, to be at the beginning part.
Right. Yeah.
Then there's another picture here, and it's showing Scorsese. It's the back of the card showing Scorsese talking to Pesci and De Niro during the scene. Wow, that's really neat. That's actually really cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of these if you come to Busted. The next picture.
I don't want
No, that's right. You didn't like it. I'll give you this one. The next picture is that creepy close-up of Al Pacino dancing with Anna Paquin. It's so creepy. It's the creepiest image of the movie. Zoomed in on it. And said, "Hey, let's put this in the window."
My God.
That'll draw people
creepy
into this
old guy.
250-minute movie. Then
what? They should
one.
Put the. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, the next one shows the 2 wives in the pool smoking cigarettes. They were funny.
Oh my God!
a secondary character.
What was the point of that? What was the point of that?
Again, it was to show that was part of the there's that road movie element, just the fact that they have to go to do the hit, and so they were part of it, and also it's the fact that they do have families, and that's an element that Scorsese has never really included in films, and I think
he
also
can care less about the characters too, because you can tell they didn't explore anything of that. They didn't explore nothing about the wives or the daughters or whoever.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The point of but the point of that was to show that these men that were high-level mob characters, they really didn't have the ability to connect with their family.
Yeah.
Beyond really
that's
the whole
that's
primal
the most
defending them.
For instance, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. At the end of towards the end of the movie, I think it's De Niro's character, the Irishman character, right? He's talking to one of his daughters, not Anna Paquin's character, but the other
blonde
daughter.
one. The blonde one, where she does the whole weepy eye kind of thing, oh, we always thought you would hurt people.
Right. That scene right there was the most interesting part of the movie to me, because that's the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to. Is okay, I want to see the vulnerability.
Yeah.
That should have been
3 hours of that?
No. But a 10-minute scene would have been enough. You know what I mean? Show me.
But they did that.
How Yeah, I guess they did.
He did that when he beat up the grocer. I mean, it was when the first wife said, "What?" It's what happened? Peggy got shoved by the grocer.
Yeah.
What? He put his hand on the grocer, and then he beats the crap out of the dude and sends him to the hospital and stomps on his hand and breaks it so it's never usable again. That shows the impact, and that's why the rest of the movie, the whole time, she's always scared of Pacino and even scared of the Pesci character, who has no ability to communicate with her, and he tries, but he just doesn't have that skill of talking to people who aren't murderers, and that's the purpose. The daughters are props to show that for those who do manage to not get killed, they fail to get killed, they have to die by themselves. And that's why at the end of the movie, that final scene, De Niro's there, the only one there to see him is a preacher in the dark. And then he goes, "Oh, it's Christmas?" He doesn't even know. And then even the preacher's leaving him, and now he's just alone by himself. And that's how it ends.
Good.
And that's because he couldn't communicate with his children. So if they have a scene Daddy, can you help me with my algebra? I don't have time for this. I have to deal with Jimmy Hoffa and unions.
Right.
And the mafioso. The Cosa Nostra. It doesn't work.
That's one thing. That's one thing I actually did like about this movie, was that they don't glorify violence as much as I thought, because the violence that you see is quick, pop, 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 kill, and that's it. It was like a shock to people. Even in the theater, it was whoa, what was this? Oh, okay, I wasn't ready for that, and then move on to the next screen. So that I thought that was interesting, where other people would throw blood all over the camera and stuff, like other Evil Dead style, or Quentin Tarantino would have done that. You know what I mean? But it was very, very precise. It's this is gonna be teep, go in, go out, pop, 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 shoot, and then get out. That was interesting to me. I was like, okay, that shows you violence in real time, and he doesn't glorify it. To me, I guess, I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, I think, like I was saying, the film is similar in tone to Unforgiven, in the way that Unforgiven has those scenes, where the kid, goes in and shoots the guy, and all of a sudden he realizes, oh my God, I can't get this image out of my head, and Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood are like, yep, and it's gonna stay there.
Yeah, I have to see that movie. I don't think I was into
you've
Western.
Never seen it?
No.
Yeah, this is.
And I know it's a good movie,
kind of
but
it's different, but it has that whole what happens if you stay alive, how do you deal with people? You're old now, you can't just keep killing people. You're 75, and and
Yeah.
meanwhile, like, no one wants to be around you. Like, your peers are either dead or in a federal prison somewhere or in, witness protection, and your family is petrified of you.
Well, that's what they deserve.
For you, murder and violence is second nature. What's that?
That's what you get for being a violent person and for being, not caring about the lives that you take and the lives you affected. I think this is what they deserve. Whether it's prison time, whether it's being stuck in a convalescent home with no visitors, whether it's dying in prison by yourself, that's what you deserve.
Yeah.
That's what
all
you deserve
kinds of hell.
For real. Like, yeah, that's your personal hell. Yeah, thank you. That's what I needed to see. It's like, okay, I'm glad they didn't, make it sentimental at the end and poor you.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen his other gangster films? Like Goodfellas or Mean Streets?
Goodfellas,
Casino.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of mafioso movies, so I guess this this is a hell of a good time that I had for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't like mafioso movies, and you go into
I do not.
The longest one ever.
Well, I sat through Boardwalk Empire and a few episodes, and so I
all of them.
No, I couldn't take it after. Anyway, so there was one scene that I couldn't take it. It was so violent. I was like, oh my God, after this one, I'm scarred for life. Like, it was the worst. I forget who
that
he
show was really violent.
He was in the movie. He was in this movie. Hold on a second. Let me see the name of the guy. Cavanali. Bobby Cannavale.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
He's
so
everybody's.
He was a character.
He's everybody's first choice of under 50-year-old, mafia don psycho character these days.
Yeah, he was a psycho killer in Boardwalk. I forget who he played. But I was like, oh my God! After this scene, I
remember that character.
It was horrible.
I think he won the Emmy for that.
Probably. I mean, he's okay. I don't think he's great, but and then again, I don't like mafiosos. That's probably why.
Hey man, you picked the wrong movie.
I did.
There are lots of genres I don't like, and I won't go in to see the 4-hour version of it.
It was not my first choice. I was gonna see Dr. Sleep, but then one of my friends was like, no, I want to see The Irishman because it's about his family is from the mafia. I'm not gonna mention his name right now, but his family are mafiosos. So, and he hated the movie, by the way, for different reasons.
Did he know? Did he know it was going to be 3 hours and 40 minutes?
No, he did not. And that's one thing he didn't. He actually fell asleep.
It's actually funny. I'm actually, because I'm looking at the cast right now, I'm just noticing some of the cameo appearances that I didn't even recognize when I was watching the movie. I was like, oh my God, little Stephen Van Zandt was Jerry Vale, who used to be on The Sopranos, which would be a show that dealt with the family issues, which is probably more up your alley. It was still violent, but it dealt very much with the family issues, which is what made it a unique
psychological
show.
Right. Actually, okay, so going back to what's his name? His character in Boardwalk Empire was Jeep Rossetti.
Rossetti.
Anyway, Rossetti. So that's Bobby Cannavale character in Boardwalk Empire. I was searching for him. Like, what's the name of this? Okay, I guess. But yeah, anyways, that's the reason I stopped watching Boardwalk Empire, because it was just very violent at that point. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up right now. Let's start bringing it, really, because we only have 5 minutes left, and I do want to mention, guys, First of all, thank you for calling Scott this morning. Scott Schultz, for those that are listening, you're welcome. Tell us what you do once a month, and this weekend is one of them. You're going to have Busted.
Busted Los Angeles. True stories about getting around LA told by people who don't drive. Been running for 6 years. True stories take place on buses, trains, sidewalks, bicycle lanes, skateboards, horseback, any way of getting around the city other than driving. LA Times said it's magnificent. LA Weekly calls it a huge favorite.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
No, actually, you're actually your storytelling series, which is called Busted, is actually pretty amazing. I like it because not only because I get to go out on stage and share my Uber experiences driving around LA, but also I want to listen to about bus drivers, passengers, people that are from out of town that don't know how to get around LA. They're all very interesting stories. Even though
you ever hand out cards there? The next time you need a ride, call me, Italo.
Yeah, I should.
That's a hot pool.
Yeah, I should actually do that. Like start passing out referrals to Uber drivers, right?
Just so you guys know out there, our audience mostly doesn't drive, so most of them show up by bus, bicycle, or Uber, various ways of getting around the city. But thank you for mentioning that. Our next show is this Sunday at 5 p.m. At Stories Books Cafe in Echo Park, which is 1716 Sunset Boulevard. And we always invite audience members to share their stories after the featured storytellers have done theirs. So if you have an anecdote up to 5 minutes about getting around the city without driving or various ways of getting around the city, come on up and share it with the audience. We got a really cool, articulate, bright audience, supportive, and we always like hearing new storytellers.
Cool. Well, I'm going to share some stories this weekend about Puerto Rico. How's that?
That's
driving
cool.
Around Puerto Rico, or being driven around Puerto Rico. Let's put it that way, because I didn't drive in Puerto Rico, but
no Irishman spoilers though. Because it doesn't come out on Netflix till Monday. Not at my show, anyway. Spoilers have to be on the site.
Well, for those that have been listening thus far and have not seen The Irishman, hey, that's on you. I told you there will be spoilers, so you know what?
I mean at Busted. don't spoil it for them. Show up and start giving away the ending on the microphone. They're like, wait, it comes out tomorrow. What are you doing?
Yeah, the end. You know what happens at the end? So I will ruin the movie for you. But anyhow, Scott, I do want to thank you once again. I will be at Busted hopefully this weekend. If not, we're gonna follow you on Facebook, right?
Thank you. BustedLosAngeles.com. That can lead you to all the social network.
Like it,
we're on
comment,
Facebook, Twitter, @BustedLA, Instagram, @Busted Los Angeles. We're on YouTube, Busted Los Angeles. You can just Google Busted Los Angeles.
Or look below this page, this same link that you're listening on, which is on YouTube, hopefully right now. Below there will be all the links below. So click below, and then you'll be able to follow Scott, follow Busted,
or you can scroll an inch.
Right. Or you can do some more homework, right? Just type in Busted. All right, anyway, we're going to wrap it up because we have 1 minute left, and I want to thank you once again, and I want to be done, over with, and let's take it out with another song of mine called Didn't See That Coming.
Now I have to go find someone else to talk about the Irish.
Yes. Bye.
Your go for liftoff in T-minus.
Not me.
I hated it. I can't believe you didn't like it. You were just the wrong person to go to that movie. First of all, if you don't know it's 3.5 hours, that's going to ruin the experience for you. I mean, it's one thing to hold a secret, like to the